This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and welcome in on your Tuesday. I'm Rebecca Smith.
And I'm Bill Bryant. Another wintry day. It is Tuesday, February 16th. A lot going on.
Now at 6 a.m., it's a snow day for Fayette County school students. We're live with weather team coverage after another storm added inches of fresh snow to the roads.
And now some fog.
Yeah, and that fog is really settling on in. We're going to be seeing that be the story during the morning hours as that snow moves on out, and then the next batch comes later on this afternoon and evening.
A man convicted of killing a Lexington police officer is again trying to get released from prison early.
A warning from doctors at the University of Kentucky after a sudden spike in a particular infection. And it is another WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. This morning we are waking up to snow-covered roads.
And that could make your morning commute a little difficult. Already more than 100 school districts have canceled classes today, and that now includes Fayette County. EKU in Richmond now announcing they will be on a 2-hour delay this morning.
Our weather team coverage begins this morning with Victor Puente. He's live in Lexington where police have been helping out drivers, we understand.
Good morning, Rebecca. The rain helped melt off a lot of that snow last night on the main roads, but road crews told us it also kept them from being able to pre-treat the roads before that snow arrived. Yesterday, road crews told us that because of that rain, they couldn't pre-treat the roads with salt brine because it would just wash it away. That meant in some spots and side roads, snow has had a chance to stick around. The neighborhood roads were a little slick on my drive into work this morning, but the main roads are pretty clear. Lexington police tell us that since midnight, they've had 5 crashes. No one was hurt in any of those. They've also helped a few people who got stuck. Those numbers are way down from yesterday when they had 54 crashes. In 8 of those, people were injured. Our road crews are back out clearing off as much of that snow and slush as they can. But the roads are still wet and the temperatures near freezing. You want to keep that in mind as you head out this morning. Also, that fog is beginning to roll in. I don't know if you can tell behind me as traffic goes by, but that fog is getting pretty thick this morning. Live in Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
All right, so that will reduce those visibilities. Everybody a heads up on that. And Clark County schools are also closed this morning. Even the clear roads remain slick this morning where they've been doing the plow work. In some parts of central Kentucky, police are asking people to stay off of the roads. Let's go to WKYT's Mark Barber to continue our weather team coverage. He is live in Clark County. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. I drove to the Winchester bypass exit here off of I-64 about an hour and a half ago. And on my way out here, I was going about 20 miles slower than the speed limit because the interstates were very slick. There are 6 clear lanes. However, a lot of the slush is starting to build up and those lane dividers and shoulders are not clear. So the interstate's still very slick this morning, and so are a lot of these side streets, leading school leaders here to actually call off classes at 5 o'clock this morning. Now, the further east you travel in Clark County, the worse driving conditions become. We are receiving reports this morning from many viewers saying that the travel conditions over on the Mountain Parkway are very dicey. And Mount Sterling Police this morning are also issuing a very stern travel warning this morning, saying that the road conditions there are extremely hazardous. And they are asking drivers to stay home and stay off those roads if possible. Now, we have seen a number of crews working to scrape and salt roads this morning, clear as much slush away as possible. And while we are seeing some improvement, side streets, they're still holding on to a lot of the slush here. So coming up in the next half hour of WKYT News, we'll give you a closer look at road conditions as well as those slick side streets. That's the latest here in Clark County. I'm Mark Barber, WKYT.
Well, many of you have been sharing pictures of the snow with us. Austin tweeted out this eyewitness picture from Mount Vernon. He says he picked up about 3 inches of snow in just 2 hours. Our own chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey, took a photo from his way home around Stanton. This is about 2 o'clock this morning. You can see the roads in Lexington were just covered in snow. You can track snow along with the latest traffic and weather information with the Weather Plus Traffic app. Download it for free in the app or Google Play stores.
A lot of sights to see out there. Our time this morning is 6:04. In other news today, a man convicted of killing a Lexington police officer will ask to be released from prison early. Glenn Donahue is serving a 20-year sentence for manslaughter in the 2010 hit-and-run death of Officer Brian Durman. Donahue is eligible for parole this year. Durman's family testified during a parole hearing yesterday. His widow says Donahue has not earned an early release.
Glenn Donahue has never accepted responsibility nor shown any remorse for his actions. Even when he was questioned by the parole board at his last hearing, he would not admit any fault.
Donahue will testify to the parole board himself this morning. He was denied parole once 2 years ago.
Well, doctors at the University of Kentucky now warning students about a rise in parotitis cases on campus. That's a swelling of the jaw. Doctors can be a sign of a bigger virus like mumps. In the last week, UK says there have been 15 cases on campus.
Just having any virus like the flu, mono, even HIV can cause this swelling in this parotid gland. So it can be a number of viruses. We're just not sure what it is yet.
So a very serious situation there. Doctors say anyone on campus with a swollen jaw should seek medical treatment immediately. If diagnosed, they say patients need to stay home for 5 days.
Well, UK coach John Calipari will be in Frankfurt today, probably leaving out any time now for the 50th Governor's Prayer Breakfast. It begins at 7:30 this morning at the Frankfurt Convention Center. Calipari is this year's guest speaker. Along with Coach Cal, there will be a special musical performance by Clark Davis, Miss Kentucky 2015. This morning's prayer breakfast is open to the public. Tickets are $10 at the door.
Some pretty nasty fog this morning. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking out your window wondering if it's still snowing. Look into the lights and you say, yeah, it's still snowing, but really that's some drizzle. That's that fog rolling on through. And it's some thick fog too, settling on in here in the Bluegrass region back toward the west. And we've had several reports of that being an issue. I-75, I-64, BG Parkway, those are areas you got to be watching out for that. Over toward the east-southeast, we haven't really had time to push everything on out and get that fog to really settle on in. But for the most part, yeah, that dense fog advisory that you can see, if you look really closely, you see it kind of looks like smoke blowing by and maybe even fine snow. What that is that's fog, okay? So it's sliding on through. That's going to be an issue along with the slushy mess you have there on the roads. Good news here is we have not heard of any issues there on the main roads. Main roads are looking pretty good in terms of the interstates and 127, 27, BG Parkway. The parkways don't look all that bad until you go off into the Mountain Parkway. I've heard of reports over in that location, still some slush there on the roads. So you just got to keep in mind, depending on where you go, Highway 11, Sharpsburg picked up roughly 6 inches of snow. So Highway 11 making your way into Fleming County, it's going to be a rough go at it this morning too. Here's the look later on this afternoon. Because during the day, it's pretty dry. I mean, yeah, we'll have that drizzle, we'll have that fog, but once that wears off, here's what we're going to be looking at. Anywhere from noontime to 3 p.m., here comes another system diving on in here. We just can't get a break. I mean, we get a 6-hour break, and that's about it. Then another system rolls on through. But what we're looking at out of this one is that light possibility, okay? You're talking about a wintry mix, rain and snow involved. If you're looking for the best chance of accumulation and inch or less, this isn't a big impact of a system, but it will be I-64 and points down toward the south. Here's the breakdown for you. During midweek, we talk about the wintry mix later on this afternoon and evening. A couple of flakes fly tomorrow. However, it's a small chance, 30%, meaning don't expect much out of that. Then we hit late week. Much better weather conditions ahead. We're talking 40s and 50s. Not only that, that's what we really want. Not just the temperatures, but we want some sunshine, man. Just get some sunshine in here. We'll look like we're doing all right. Then the weekend, boy, does it feel fantastic. 50s, 60s. Yeah, we'll have a small rain chance here and there, but for the most part, this is a good looking forecast. After we get past today and tomorrow, Bill, so we're trying to move this winter on out of here just for the moment. This is the 7 out of 8 past days that we've had have been under first alert severe weather days. Let's just take a break from it.
Are you taking requests?
A little bit. Yeah, bring it on, man.
Okay.
I'll take anything.
I mean,
right
once we get into this after this is over,
right.
How about we just cruise into
I wish
spring?
we could.
Huh?
That would be nice.
Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah.
Yeah.
6:09 is the time right now. Every morning we bring you weather and traffic together, and here's Officer Don with a look at what's happening out there on the roads. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Well, of course, it's a slushy mess right now, as Micah was just explaining, and some have it worse than others. Here in Lexington, the main roads, you're dealing with some slush, but still, it's another situation where just getting out of your driveway or the neighborhood could be the biggest issue. As we get a look outside to show you what to expect this morning, it's a live look at what your ride in could look like. current road conditions around Lexington. Traffic flow, live look there. Of course, it's pretty light right now with school out. That's going to help a bunch too. So no major issues yet showing up on Nicholasville Road. Even on the north side, Paris Pike looks pretty good, but we don't want to be caught off guard this morning, obviously. And downtown, a little bit of a slowdown there, inbound Richmond Road, approaching Main Street. As far as drive times go, 16 minutes from Nicholasville currently, 16 from Georgetown. Paris looking at 19, 33 minutes across the Clays Ferry Bridge. Just got to take it easy this morning and get there when we can. Now back to you in the studio.
Don, thank you so much. And it's 6:10 on WKYT this morning. Glad to have you along with us. We're getting this brand new day off and rolling, even with the fog and the other elements out there.
You know, we'll make it happen. It'll be a great day. Caught on camera, a tornado touched down in Florida. We'll have a look at damage in 3 minutes.
And it was a big night at the Grammys. We'll have a recap of the winners, including a Kentucky native, ahead this morning. Good morning. The time is 6:14, bright and early on WKYT. Another winter's day. In fact, we do have a first alert severe weather day ongoing. Fog this morning, more wintry issues later today.
Yeah, a little bit of slush on the roads.
There you go. Parts of the south are cleaning up after severe weather, including tornadoes, moved through that area.
As John Champion reports, it's from the same storm system that dumped snow and ice in the northeast.
Not even this fire station in Alabama could escape the wrath of a storm. An apparent tornado plowed through the town of Johnsonville Monday, tossing debris everywhere. In Florida, dash cam video from the car of a sheriff's deputy shows another twister on the ground.
It sounded like a train's coming.
Across the South Monday, at least 16 tornadoes were reported. In Flomaton, Alabama, Bo Brantley rode out the storm in the hallway of his home.
We got in the hall and covered up, and we heard all the rumble, and then just like that, it was all gone.
In Mississippi, the storm damaged the roof of this school, terrifying students.
We could hear the water coming through the roof into the hallway.
The same massive storm system covered roads and streets from the Carolinas to New York in snow and ice, making travel tricky.
Cars off the road everywhere. There's a car wrapped around a telephone pole right up there.
In Baltimore, this ambulance flipped, responding to a call. Everyone inside survived. Warm temperatures are now on tap for the Northeast, raising concerns over possible flooding. Don Champion, CBS News, New York.
Well, the weather wreaked havoc with air travel across the country. FlightAware reported more than 1,000 flights delayed or canceled yesterday. The travel problems could continue today. Checking in with Bluegrass Airport, you can see that looks to be the case again. Once again, it's flights to Charlotte, North Carolina that are canceled today. There's also delayed flights to Chicago.
Republican presidential contenders continue to step up their attacks days before the South Carolina primary. Former President George W. Bush joined his brother Jeb on the campaign trail yesterday, taking a veiled swipe at Donald Trump for so-called name-calling. Trump, who continues to bash the Bush brothers, also took aim at rival Ted Cruz, calling the Texas senator unstable. Pop star Taylor Swift took home her second Best Album honor at last night's Grammy Awards, but rapper Kendrick Lamar stole the show, winning 5 awards, the most of the night. Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars won for their record of the year for their smash hit, Uptown Funk. And Kentucky native Chris Stapleton won his first Grammy. His debut album, Traveler, was named Country Music's Album of the Year.
6:17 is the time. Oil prices are surging on word that Saudi Arabia, Russia, and other OPEC members have agreed to freeze oil production. An oversupply combined with less global demand has sent oil prices much lower and sparked a massive sell-off in world stock markets. On the bright side, prices at the pump are at decade lows. Facebook has been hit with a class action lawsuit over its birthday reminders. A Florida man says Facebook sent unauthorized text messages to his phone about friends' birthdays, violating the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. The man wants $1,500 per message. Facebook isn't commenting. Ford says it will launch 4 new SUVs over the next 4 years, citing the global popularity of the vehicles. Ford's vice president made the announcement at the Chicago Auto Show. Ford also said there are no plans to eliminate any models. The nation's #2 automaker already has the nation's best-selling SUV in the Explorer. Well, we've had smartphones for a while, so We have smart shoes apparently now. They're called Low Fit. They were developed by a startup that's part of Samsung. Embedded sensors detect balance and posture. The information is sent to an app that offers tips on improving your workout or your golf swing. There will be 2 shoes to choose from, a running shoe and an Oxford.
That's pretty cool. But do they light up like kids' shoes, you know? They could probably add that as well. All right, that's interesting. 6:18 the time on WKYT this morning. We're just getting started, and it is so good to have you along with us. We'll get this Tuesday off and rolling. The latest Star Wars smashed records at the box office. And coming right up, we have new details about the next movie in the series.
So here goes that system off toward the East Coast, right? Then you look back toward the West. It's about a 500-mile difference, 500-mile spread from this system. I'll show you when it moves on in, how much we're expecting, the effects and all coming up.
Have something that needs investigating?
2 on your Tuesday. School is canceled in dozens of counties this morning.
Just into the news. At this hour, Lexington police have responded to almost a dozen crashes or motorist assists since midnight. Road crews say they could not pre-treat some of the roads because of yesterday's rain.
Mount Sterling police asking drivers to stay off the roads. Several people telling us that the Mountain Parkway is dicey in spots this morning.
And now a quick check on the forecast. We have more to go through today. Meteorologist Micah Harris is here on this first alert severe weather day.
Yeah, if you look very, very closely, the thing outside this morning that's really going to cause us some problems, the fog. And it kind of looks like smoke or some extremely fine light snow passing by the light. It's not. It's actually fog that's going to be passing by. So, yeah, heads up for some dense fog. We have that advisory across 75 and back toward the west across BG Parkway and also 64. But you can see virtually all of the accumulating snow is long gone in east and southeastern Kentucky. There's a few spots here and there of some snow showers flying on through, as you can see through Rowan County and drop just to the south of that in Morgan County, and then back toward the Howard Rogers Parkway. But other than that, it's really about what's already on the ground. The damage is already done. And what you got was a lot of rain. You got some snow overnight, and add that together in those creeks and streams, especially that the grounds are frozen solid, that it just runs right into those creeks and streams. You're talking about some flood issues over toward east and southeastern Kentucky. So traveling this morning, running into that, we tell you this all the time, but just don't drive through it. Try to find a different route. Howard Rogers, 421, 15, 119, back toward Mountain Parkway. Those are areas that are heavily traveled, and those are areas that are actually under that flood warning until 10 a.m. Let me take you off into the afternoon and into the evening. There are your temperatures at 38, right? That will show for a wintry mix, a possibility of that here in Lexington and southbound. Northern zones, you don't really have that great of a chance of that. But really south of I-64, that is your best bet. Actually pick up a little more accumulation. It's going to be very light, but it is showing up there on our hour-by-hour forecast. This is 7 p.m. there later on this evening, guys. And if we're looking for accumulation, once again, in the southern half of our viewing area. I'm going to get into that in further detail in just about 10 minutes.
Okay, and then after that, he promises improvements as
Yes.
we head into the latter part of the weekend.
A promise is a promise.
You got it. Okay. Coming up on 625 right now, retailers who accept food stamps would have to start stocking a wider variety of healthy foods or face the loss of consumers under some proposed rules that are expected to be announced today.
The rules don't dictate what people buy or eat. A person using food stamps could still buy as much junk food as they wanted, but they would at least have more options in the store to buy more than 160 items that the Agriculture Department considers healthy. Disney announced new cast members for the next big Star Wars movie. It'll be Episode 8. They are Laura Dern, Benicio del Toro, and Kelly Marie Tran. Dern, perhaps best known for her role in Jurassic Park. Del Toro won an Oscar for his role in Traffic. Tran is a newcomer to Hollywood. Filming on Episode 8 started this week. The movie, the third in a trilogy, does not have a name yet, but it's set to hit theaters December 2017. All right, a lot of folks are already excited and waiting for that one. Good to have you along on WKYT this morning, and all of our top stories are coming up. It was a pilot project to make a downtown Lexington street safer for pedestrians. Will it be sticking around? That answer coming up at 6:30. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $94 million. Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot, $189 million. Kentucky mornings start right here on WKYT.